Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 26 of the Dungeon Lore series. In this series, I hope to expand upon things you might not know about Final Fantasy XIV dungeons, as well as discuss their individual stories and lore. This episode's dungeon is the hard mode version of Sastasha. Our first experience encountering a hidden place that needs investigating involved the Serpent Reavers of Sastasha, a tunnel complex with a hidden cove said once to be a hideout of the pirate Mistbeard. These particular pirates were under the command of Den the Orca-Toothed, a large Sahagin faithful to Leviathan, Lord of the Whirl. After successfully clearing the den of the Reavers, Den slew Captain Madison for his failures, after which the Sahagin himself was fought and bested. The area then fell under the control of the Yellow Jackets, doing their best to keep the pirates from retaking the valuable location. Around the time of the Warrior of Light handling the threat of Shiva thanks to Izael Iceheart and her group of heretics, Blowzong in Mordona has a new request for a capable adventurer. A friend by the name of Commodore Rayner requires assistance in handling a matter for the Yellow Jackets, and we are sent to the Coral Tower to speak with him. Greeting us, he quickly moves to explain that although Sastasha was freed by us and our cohorts a long while ago, the pirates have finally overwhelmed the Yellow Jacket forces and retaken the tunnels. However, eyewitnesses of the event say that the beings invading looked more akin to the fiends of the deep, as opposed to mere men. After another adventurer group tried and failed in their attempt, Rayner sends us to the Sastasha entrance to speak with Persia, the stationed Yellow Jacket we met once before. They tell us of the other group of adventurers, who spent only a minute or so inside the tunnel before retreating for air. Said adventurers are recovering nearby, with the Gladiator and Conjurer bickering, the Archer drinking the troubles away, and the Thaumaturge considering their options. And Persia reminds us that the threat is still mostly unknown, but looks forward to hearing of our success, as we move to re-enter Sastasha. As we enter the familiar looking tunnels, a similarly familiar parrot squawks "Intruders!" and flees the party. The enemies encountered here are the varying sea creatures and cave dwellers such as crabs, diamites, and bats, smattered with what appeared to be zombified or undead crewmen from the Reavers, apparently drowned and reborn as thralls. The parrot flees again, and we enter into the sea grot, which has become more flooded since our last visit. We reach a small platform containing a drainage pipe, which reduces the water level, revealing a large scorpion-like creature known as Carlabos. During the fight, the creature will mark a party member with a tether, which at the end of its duration will pull them close and subject that party member to the highly dangerous tail screw, reducing the party member to dangerously low health. Intermittently during the fight, the boss uses its slime ability, dumping puddles of slime onto the party, leaving them covered and taking damage over time. Eventually the beast uses both of these abilities together, leading to an extremely deadly combination if not dealt with. Upon defeat, the party can proceed over the shallow water and shoals, dealing with the anglerfish that burst from the sand. We head into a lower area of the tunnels, defeating more of the inhabiting creatures, until we reach a locked gate, along with what looked like several drowned maidens. These enemies absorb the nearby orbs of brine to regenerate, perhaps infusing them with water-aspected ether. When defeated, the gate opens and we find a second group of maidens, after which we reach the door to Dead Man's Drink, where a familiar foe awaits. Captain Madison, the previous captain of the Serpent Reavers, awaits us upon the platform. However, he is vastly transformed to something more akin to a squid than a man. Beginning the fight, the captain yells at us, recognizing us as the ones who put him in this state, and shouting to his men that they can't fail Lord Leviathan once again, indicating their allegiance was more than just the Sahagin. His troop of crewmen begin firing at and attacking party members in varying ways, shooting in a straight line or healing the other men. One minion, the slave, will grab party members and hold them in place. Captain Madison meanwhile uses his gun skills, continually blasting a party member and slowly increasing the damage they take. This can be stopped by the party focusing the captain, causing him to lose his aim. He will also charge at a party member and attempt to knock them back with a large cleaving strike. When heavily injured, the captain sets more of his men upon us and flees through the door towards Misbid Cove, and once the last of the crewmen fall, the party can proceed. We fight our way through the Rambade, where we once fought Madison, and proceed out onto the open area of the cove. We can see a ship moored in the distance that was not present originally, and many more of the drowned crew attempting to stop us. Reaching the gate to where Madison awaits, First Mate Hairston charges forth and proclaims to kill us in the name of Lord Leviathan. He proceeds to call forth many more drowned compatriots, attempting to swarm the party. After he and the many crewmen fall, we can enter the final area to confront Madison and his masters once and for all. We see the captain call forth his so-called pet, and yet another familiar enemy appears. Madison calls upon the Kraken, which we once fought off upon Hullbreaker Isle. The tentacles of the beast smash Madison and his pet parrot flying, Madison into the nearby ocean and the bird into the distance, as the body of the Kraken emerges and attacks the party. Similar to the original fight, the Kraken's tentacles attempt to wreak havoc upon the party, except this time the Kraken itself is able to be attacked. The tentacles of the beast spew water and attempt to grasp party members, and the arms sweep across towards nearby party members. The Kraken itself occasionally uses its ink reserves to attack the party, either as ink blot, a small puddle upon a random person, or as enormous ink jet covering the entire front of the Kraken. Its most dangerous ability is Stranger Tides, which uses any remaining arms to cause a devastating blast of water to damage the party, with more arms causing more damage. Upon defeat, the Kraken truly falls and vanishes, clearing the danger from the seas for good. After this, we return to speak with De Persia, informing them of the odd-looking men, apparently possessed with the same fervour as the Sahagin fighting for Leviathan. They send us to Rayna in Aleport, and a Yellow Jacket informs us that a body from Sastasha has arrived for investigation, showing the appearance of the drowned Captain Madison, transformed and warped to a sea-like abomination. A lady known as Siana appears, a student with more knowledge on such a subject, and she identifies the body to be akin to that of one that absorbed far too much water-aspected ether. However, a living person can only handle so much ether before alteration, and such a dose as to transform these bodies in such a way means it must have been more than fatal. We discover here that the most likely explanation is that Madison and his crew were tempered by the effects of a primal, sworn into the Sahagin service, and upon their initial failure, the punishment was to become those abominations we saw within the depths. Rayna vows to protect the tunnels more securely in the future, and Siana takes the corrupted body for future study. And that's the end of the story and lore of the hard mode version of Sastasha. A new experience of the first tunnels traversed by adventurers, fighting a corrupted crew and its tempered captain, as we get a true glimpse into the horrors caused by the primal threat. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy XIV lore, and I'll see you next time for the hard mode version of the Sunken Temple of Khan.